Hello investors, welcome to Simply Stocks. Today I will be discussing 4 interesting stocks from Ashish Kacholia's portfolio with you. Ashish Kacholia is one of my favorite ACE investors. He has expertise in identifying high growth businesses, especially when they are in the early stages of their growth journey. So today we are going to study these 4 interesting companies and we will try to understand the reasons why Ashish Kacholia might have invested in them. But keep in mind, this video is in no way a buy or sell recommendation on any of these stocks. Our only aim here is to make you understand these businesses and Ashish Kacholia's investing style. With this, let's begin. So the first business we will study is Dhavaria Polywood. This company, as you can see on my screen, is in the business of manufacturing such PVC and UPVC panels, ceilings, interiors, windows, doors, modular kitchens, and office furniture. This is a micro cap company and its market cap is in the range of 400 to 450 crore rupees. It is currently trading at a PE of less than 25, and as you can see, its return ratios are good as well. Both ROE and ROCE are around 20%. They have 5 manufacturing plants in Jaipur, Bangalore, and Coimbatore. Then, for sales and distribution, they have 4 depots and a network of over 800 channel partners or distributors pan India. Apart from this, the company is also opening its own showrooms. Currently, they have 4 showrooms. Now, if you look at this screenshot of the business segment, you will notice something quite unique. Earlier, Dhabaria's major sales came from PVC products and UPVC windows, around 90%. The remaining 10 to 12% came from modular furniture, but this segment has grown rapidly from a small base. Now it contributes 17% to the sales. The contribution of UPVC windows has remained around the same, around 25%, and the share of PVC windows, which used to be 65% earlier, has now reduced to 58%. This PVC segment is their B2B business. In this, they take orders for interiors of residential projects, offices, and office furniture. Moving forward, if I talk to you about the guidance, their management is targeting to grow their sales by 20 to 25% this year. And for the next 3 to 5 years as well, they are eyeing this 20 to 25% growth. Additionally, they are saying that going forward, they will be able to maintain their current EBITDA margin of 15 to 16% and net profit margin of 8% as well. So we have in front of us a 20 to 25% type business with stable margins. Lastly, let us look at their plans, which will be the key triggers for the stock. So firstly, they are rapidly expanding their sales and manufacturing team. For example, in 1 year, their employee count has increased from 500 to 700. So we can say, or we can expect, good top line and bottom line growth going forward. Apart from this, they are expanding their portfolio of soffit and fluted panels. So there are these normal plain panels and the other types are fluted and soffit panels, which are high margin products. Soffit and fluted are such 3D patterned panels which have a unique shape or contain air pockets inside them. And lastly, Dhabaria is also launching its own stores so that it can focus on premium products. They already have 4 stores and they will be opening 2 more soon. So Dhabaria Polywood is a decent business that you can study independently. It has 20 to 25% type sales growth and PE is currently below 25. And if we talk about the shareholding pattern, Ashish Kacholia holds a 6.7% stake in Dhabaria, which he likely bought from promoters in 2023. And you will notice that promoter stake came down in the same quarter when he picked up the stake. Now, the second business we will study is Megatherm Induction, in which Ashish Kacholia holds 1.7% stake. Megatherm manufactures induction furnaces. These induction furnaces are used in the sectors where steel melting and foundry work is done. So they make such furnaces and also other types of products such as casting machines, transformers, etc., which are used along with these furnaces. Their products are used in railways, pipes and tubes, auto, foundry, and other sectors which deal in metals. Now see, how an induction furnace works is that there is a coil through which strong AC current is passed. This generates heat and steel melts. Now what's interesting about Megatherm is that they are entering the transformer business. They have been making induction transformers already for furnaces. Like I told you, induction furnaces work on AC, right? And as you know, the current that flows through wires and we use is all DC. So if you have a steel melting plant, you will have to convert convert that DC current to AC. Only then you can run an induction furnace in your factory. So Megatherm has been making such transformers for a very long time. But now from here, they will give this segment a separate focus and grow it properly, because the demand for transformers is growing at a very fast pace. You must have heard about transformer stocks like Voltam, transformers and rectifiers, and Silchar. All three have rallied so much in the past 3 years because transformer demand has increased rapidly. One reason behind this is the rising power demand. So transformers are being installed for that. Along with that, due to green energy as well, there is a big boom in the demand for transformers separately. So that's why the transformer sector is doing very well overall right now. Now let's look at the management's plans for this. So last year, or in FY25, Megatherm sales were around 300 to 320 crore rupees, of which roughly 45 to 50 crore contribution came from transformers. The remaining 250 crore was from the induction business. In the next 2 years, their target is to increase total sales from 300 to 500 crore rupees. They will grow the 250 crore induction business to 350 crore rupees, and the transformer segment, currently at 45 to 50 crore, will be tripled to 150 crore rupees. The growth is good in the sector. Plus, Megatherm's base is also very small for their transformer business. So that's another benefit they have. I have made this table based on management's estimates. In this, you can see that their induction business can grow at a CAGR of 14%. For this, they are targeting the export market, and they have even partnered with a US company to sell their products there. Now, rest, the transformer segment annual growth comes out to an impressive 73% till FY27. And when we combine the both, the entire business can grow at 25% rate. Additionally, the management is saying that they are working on improving margins. So net profit margin will increase from 6.7% to 9%. For this, the management has also given an estimate of 45 crore net profit 2 years down the line. So based on all this, Megatherm's 2-year forward PE comes down to just 14. But see, you have to understand this. Just because Ashish Kacholia or FIIs, DIIs are entering a company, that doesn't mean you will follow them blindly. Yes, it can definitely be a good signal for you to study that business, but you also have to use your own brain. You also have to use your own common sense, right? After all, it's your money. Tomorrow, if there is a loss, Ashish Kacholia is not going to come and give his money to you. You need to assess that business yourself. Do you understand the business or not? Do you see value or not? You might enter by seeing their actions, but when to exit, what is the potential of the business, you will never understand. And if something goes wrong or something blows up, then those big investors will quietly sell and move on, but you will be the one left behind. That's why tracking companies is very, very important if you are studying a business, because then you will have to study its results, you will have to check its valuations, and you must use your own brain and common sense. That's why we have created a personal WhatsApp community for serious investors, where we closely track more than 100 good quality stocks. We cover their business models, valuation, risk factors, how their results have been, everything in great detail. Here I also share my personal portfolio with you, and I am there to clear all your doubts on one-to-one level. But yes, we do not give any buy sell calls on any stock. We are not SEBI registered. So if you are interested, then you can send me a WhatsApp message on this number. Otherwise, we have also given a link in the description. You can message us using that link. And remember, this is a paid community with a monthly fee of just 850 rupees per month. Meaning, for just 850 rupees per month, you are getting to know about so many good quality stocks. And yes, there are two plans, 6,000 for 6 months and 10,000 for a full year. In the 6-month plan, your per month cost will be 1,000 rupees, and in the annual plan, your per month cost will be just 850 rupees. So if you are interested, you can contact us using the link below and you can join this community. Let's come back to our businesses. So the third business is Thomas Scott. This is a textile or garment manufacturing microcap stock with a market cap of less than 450 crore rupees. It has factories and warehouses in Delhi NCR, Maharashtra, Bangalore, and Kolkata. They make trousers, shirts, t-shirts, etc. in menswear, and along with that, they also have the capacity to make women's handbags. Thomas Scott does contract manufacturing for many brands such as Roadster, Raymond, Being Human, Wrong, and also Invictus, Marston Harbor, and Moda Rapido, which are brands of Myntra only. Apart from them, they also have in-house brands or their own brands such as Thomas Scott, Hammersmith, etc. So that's their business model. Now, if you look at the shareholding pattern, interestingly, Ashish Kacholia's name has come up in the recent March quarter shareholding data. He has acquired 2.4% stake in Thomas Scott recently. And what makes it interesting is that it is a high growth business. For example, its sales grew by 45% in FY24, while net profit tripled to 10 CR. The same growth has continued in FY25 as well. And in fact, the pace of sales growth is increasing. As you can see here, in the June quarter, it was 49% year-on-year growth, then 77%, and in the December quarter, the growth rate jumped to 110%. And in the March quarter, it was 85%, which is very, very impressive overall. So the business is growing fast, and plus they are also reinvesting their profits back into the business. I have their cash flow statement on my screen, and as you can see that Thomas Scott spent 3.4 CR in FY23 on plant and machinery, then again 4.5 CR in FY24, and in FY25 that figure for capex was 6 crore rupees. So looking at Thomas Scott, we can say that we have a high growth business that is also investing money to increase its manufacturing capacity so that this strong sales growth can continue in the future as well. Plus, there are other positive points like company is also debt free, and secondly, the return ratios are high as well, 25 to 30%. So that means it is an efficient business despite being small in size. Now, talking about the valuation, the stock had rallied to almost 45 to 46 PE back in December, but it has cooled down since then. Its current PE is around 35. Now, if I quickly talk about the risks in Thomas Scott, so the first risk is that textile manufacturing is a low margin business and margins keep fluctuating. Their December quarter was good with 12% operating profit margin, then it rose to 14% in March. So you will have to keep a close watch going forward on margins. Second risk is that as long as this strong growth continues, PE of 30 is fine for a small business. But if growth slows down for even 1 to 2 quarters, then it can be a problem and it can cause a drawdown. Now, the final business we will study is the fastest growing among these four. It also belongs to the power sector and is called Advait Energy Transitions. This company makes different kinds of products used in power transmission. So, power transmission means those large, tall towers through which electricity is transferred from one place to another. So, Advait makes optical fiber ground wires which are used in power towers for grounding. Around 25% of their sales come from this. They also make essential ACS wires and the machines or stringing tools used to install these wires. ACS are the main wires which you see hanging. Around 15% of sales come from this. Apart from this, they also undertake reconductoring and EPC projects from distribution companies. In this, they replace wires and parts of existing power lines, which helps to increase efficiency and reduce power loss. Now, maybe it does not sound very exciting to you, but the government is working heavily on this issue right now to reduce power loss and power theft. About 30% of their sales come from this segment, and it is a very fast growing segment. And apart from this, Advait also has a solar EPC business where they install solar plants for other companies. Around 25% of their sales come from here, and recently it has also won a government tender, Rishikesh, for setting up a 300 megawatt electrolyzer facility for green hydrogen. So this can also become a business segment for them going forward. So these are their different businesses. To summarize, the company makes ACS wires, optical grounding wires, and stringing tools. Apart from that, it provides EPC services in the power transmission and distribution sector and the solar sector. Now, talking about the customers, they have completed orders for well-known companies like Adani, Apar, Powergrid, Tata, L&T, etc. Now, let us come to financials now. The business has seen very good growth. In the last 5 years, you will see Advait's sales and profit after tax, that is both top line and bottom line, have grown at 50% CAGR. EBITDA margin has been around 16% and PAT margin around 10%. Even in FY25, the business saw same 50% YOY growth. And here I have the transcript of the conference call in which you will see that Advait's management is targeting similar 50% business growth going forward too. Plus the company's return ratios are very solid. So that's nice as well. But the problem is the PE is very high, or the valuation is expensive in my opinion. It is currently trading at a PE of 65. So that is something you will have to be mindful of. Finally, let's look at the shareholding pattern quickly. Here you will see that Ashish Kacholia picked up a 2.7% stake in the September 2024 quarter. Along with that, you will also see that Suresh Kumar Agarwal invested in Advait at the same time. He is a Kolkata-based ace investor. Advait raised about 80 crore rupees in funding from both of them at that time for business expansion, and transaction price in that funding round was 1380 rupees or 1378, I think, per share to be precise. So you can study Advait on your own, but yes, you need to be mindful of the valuation. Now you let me know in the comments which of these 4 stocks did you like the most, and if you liked the video or you learned something valuable from it, do give us a thumbs up, because your likes and your subscribes are our only motivation so that we can bring all this high quality research to you for free. I'll see you in the next video. Happy investing.